It's good to see you all again. I've been very busy on the farm last couple of days. I just haven't been able to find time to do a stream. I guess I probably could have yesterday, but the problem was I'm smoking a brisket. It's done now. It turned out very good. First time I've ever separated the flat from the point, and man, it turned out really good. But that's what I was doing yesterday. So if I stopped for that hour, I mean, I have an outside, it's called indirect smoke. I have a box that the fire's in. And I think most people have probably seen my smoker that's made out of block, and that blows the smoke in through a block turned sideways through those two holes, and that shoots the smoke into the actual smokehouse proper. And I mean, the temperature, it's not easy to keep it at a constant 250. I mean, I have to check it every 20 minutes if I want to make sure it's going to work. And that's what I was doing. So I've been busy, but I have something I want to say today. Good to see you, Tim Tarbox. Excellent to see you. But before I do that, I'm going to do what I've been doing. I'm going to sing y'all a song. I didn't write it. This was written by the 9 Inch Nails and performed most famously by Johnny Cash. And, I mean, this song is about hurting yourself if you listen to it carefully. And it appears to me that the direction that the Democrats, especially like Nadler, are trying to take right now, they're going to end up hurting themselves. So right now, this is for Nicholas Shane. Good to see you, Nicholas Shane. Not that I'm seeing you right now, but you're always there making comments after the fact. You're one of my staunchest viewers. You always have something uplifting to say. You remind me to keep my heart humble. You always remind me to point my petitions to the Lord. And I appreciate these things in this crazy world. Very seldom do I run into people that encourage me to do that. So, Nicholas Shane, this one's for you. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focused on the vein, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. I try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become, my precious friend? Everything I love turns to shit in the end. Built it all for you, my empire of dirt. Then I let you down, and I made you hurt. I wear this crown of shit on my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts I cannot repair. Beneath the stain of time, memories disappear. You're somebody else, I remain right here. What have I become, my special friend? Everything I love goes away in the end. If I had it all again, my empire of dance probably lets you down once again. Once again, I'd make you hurt. If I could start it all again, about 1,000,000 miles away, I would make myself a better man. I would find a way. And I don't know who knows much about that song. The Nine Inch Nails, names slipping my mind, did not want Johnny Cash to play their song because he was just some old washed up bootlicker that was in the establishment. But when he heard Johnny sing it, he said, "Oh, I wrote the song for him, not for me." And so then you have it. And I like both versions. I really do. But I have to say that Johnny Cash, man, it was at the end of his life. And if you haven't seen the video, his wife passed away. And there at the end of that climactic, where he says, if I had it all again, and if I could start it all again 1,000,000 miles away, it's flashing pictures of him and his wife when they were both young and beautiful. And Johnny reaches out with a trembling hand and he pours his wine out on the table. And that has a lot of significance for me. That a person can have everything. They can have everything that they thought that their heart ever desired, but they could be hollow and empty. There could be a fulfillment of temporal things, but the spiritual neglected. And in that situation, man withers, decays, and dies. And it's a sad and lonesome death and decay. And when I see, Johnny there and signifying the end of an excellent run, an excellent life. He was wealthy. He did what he loved to do. But in the end, it all turned to shit. In the end, his beloved wife passed away. And in the end, he was there alone. And it's not always easy. T. Marshall, a.k.a. Al Johnson, is shit. We can see. Sad. Thank you very much for being here. Everybody gets to be a moderator. It's just to make it easy on me. That way you can post anything you care to. And I don't believe if someone times you out, you can turn around and time them out. No one does that around here. So I'm going to get into my show. I got a little emotional on that opener. I didn't mean to. I don't usually try to use emotions to jar people into thinking the way I think. Yes, you have to emote and you want to, if you don't want to be a robot, but in the end, I'd like logic to rule the day. I would never want anybody to listen to what I say or to change their mind or to even ponder if they're on the right path based on fear or love or anger or any of these other fleeting human emotions that are here and feel one way 1 minute and gone and feel a different way the next. They're unreliable. That's why identity politics is unreliable. And I'm going to start out today by saying this. Words are wonderful, and a lot of the words that we have right now, let me give you a couple examples. Virtue. When I was young, it was a good thing to be virtuous. Even the heathens that didn't believe in God or Yahweh or anything like that, didn't even pray to Buddha. They believed in our little street in Nelson Court. They believed in virtue. And now they qualify it and they say people are virtue signaling. When we qualify this word virtue, this great thing, this wonderful thing, this thing that means to be good, this thing that means to do righteously, this thing that means to be just and upright in your dealings with your friends and your enemies. It's gone when you put signal. Now, virtue signaling, this is a person that is in no way concerned with the virtuous. They're in no way concerned with doing what's right for right's sake. They are in no way concerned with their own personal integrity or reputation. They are concerned with the patina of the thing, with the facade of the thing. They are concerned with how they appear to you, my brothers and sisters. They are not concerned with how they truly are. Another great one is justice. Justice is a great word, hardly more noble a word. Justice is a blind thing. A lot of us older Americans especially will consider justice, and will always consider lady justice, and we will see a woman with a blindfold, a balance, a scale, and a sword, ready to weigh out the evidence, and regardless of which way the scale tips, to then blindly mete out justice. It's a beautiful and noble thing. It's a beautiful and noble word. Now, social justice. No. We have something here even worse than my first example. It's even worse than virtue signaling. Now you have social justice. Now you take a thing that's beautiful and noble and you make it the opposite. You're not only trying to just appear to be virtuous, as in the idea of virtue signaling, you are now taking the idea of justice and you're having her lift her blindfold up and say, oh, I would have ruled this way. The sword stroke would have fallen on this party. Ooh, but I see here that this party is black. This party is a Jew. This party is a woman. This party is whatever. This party is some insert quality you have no control over here. So you have social justice, the opposite of justice. You have virtue signaling, not the opposite of virtue, but only concerned with the trappings, the patina, the appearance of virtuosity, not at all concerned with the sticky, tedious business of making oneself virtuous, of saying to yourself that though everyone on my street, everyone in my country, everyone that's ever listened to my live streams, everyone, period, is against me, but I know I'm right, I'm not doing what's wrong. That's something you can't signal about that. If you're signaling about it, why then you give in, don't you? And in the end, if you're signaling about it, you don't, nothing happens. It's worse than if you were not even concerned with virtue in the beginning. Excuse me, I've been out in the sun and stuff, and I try my best not to blow my nose and make all kinds of rude sounds on here, but I do just come in and sit down right from work usually, as I did now. I might have a cold beer and then go right to it. So, things are happening up in my sinuses, and I don't want to subject you to those things. If we allow people to twist what's real into what's unreal, we get this example. So apparently Jerry Nadler now has come out and said that they are going to begin formal impeachment proceedings. They're formally going to begin to impeach the president. How? I don't know. I do know that I don't see it up on Drudge. I'm looking for it. But I don't see it. So, I don't know. What I saw today was on Fox, and it just said that, and it shows Nadler there. We're going to begin from, and this guy is an idiot. This person is as bad as Schiff, as dumb as Maxine Waters, and as twisted and evil as James Comey. This person is a horrible human being. Why would anyone in their right mind want to impeach the president of the United States? No one would. The Republicans were not in their right mind when they attempted to, well, and I guess when they did, or whatever they did, when they impeached President Clinton when he was in office. They shouldn't have been messing around with that over a dress with semen on it, over him getting a blowjob from an intern in the Oval Office. Do I like the idea that the Oval? I don't care. I won't lie. I was just going to try to, I guess, virtue signal myself, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to remain virtuous and say to you that powerful men, powerful women, they often get sexual favors from people that are under them. Women, I said women too. They do. And that's the way it is. Will it change? No, it won't change. They can try to eradicate it and punish people and, bring about the end of this thing. But in the end, you had the Republicans out of their mind. They were not in their right mind. Tried to impeach the president, President Clinton in this case, over a blue dress, and it backfired. I mean, it definitely got him reelected. It didn't hurt anyway. The same thing's going to happen here. That's why Nancy Pelosi's not saying anything about it that I've seen. She's not stupid. If they try this, they already look so foolish. The Democratic Party, the DNC, and the MSN, the mainstream media, for the most part. There are some tiny swaths. The Daily Caller, is pretty good. The Washington Free Beacon, a couple prints, and you get Fox News. It's okay. But they keep hiring people like Juan Williams and Donna Brazile. How are you going to remain how are you going to remain the voice of reason is what I was trying to spit out, and the voice of sanity if you continue to hire insane people that no matter what is before them, they will always say orange man bad. They will always say Republicans evil. Always. Things have changed drastically in the Democrat and the Republican Party. Democratic Party was the party of the working man at one time. That's long, long gone. It's not that way anymore. It's not even close. The Republican Party, they like to give lip service to the working man. And I remember when I was young, the Republicans were, they were the white collars. And the blue collar were the Democrats. Now the Democrats don't give two shits. They're all rich. They're all wealthy. The leaders, the ones that steer the committees, the ones that steer the DNC. They're all out of their ever fucking minds too. In this one man's humble opinion. If I was a member of the Democratic caucus in any way, I would be pushing hard for sanity, for centrism, according to them. But just bring it back a little bit to the right of Joseph Stalin. And then you can call yourself a Democrat, an American Democrat. It'd be normal. But when you're way, way to the left of Trotsky and Stalin and Lenin, who are you appealing to? These things that these people spew, basic incomes, Medicaid for all of these things, it sounds good, but only to a small portion of people. They're vocal. And yeah, they're gonna probably, a lot of them vote because this is their livelihood in a lot of cases. Look, we have gone too far. We should have really put our foot down and said, if you need assistance, you go to your community. The federal government is here only to protect you from outside forces by the way of armies invading your country and to facilitate trade. Not to get in your way, to make it harder, but to facilitate. That's what they're there for. Now we want them there to facilitate a guaranteed life, to facilitate some kind of social security blanket. And we hear Social Security, we think our Social Security number here in the United States, but Social Security is just a broad term, meaning, your family doesn't have to take care of you. Your community doesn't have to take care of you. Your church doesn't have to take care of you. You don't have to take care of you. But the state will take care of you. And remember, folks, the state has nothing. Enjoying a little pipe tobacco today. You can see this is a cigarette. This is not drugs. Anyone that says it is a liar. Anyone that would come and flag me for smoking a cigarette while I speak to people and drinking a cold beer, that's as un-American as it gets. And I hope your penis rots off and falls right into the the shower right there, and you watch it melt and go down the drain. And if you're a chick doing this, I hope your vagina gets infected and seals shut. You pieces of human filth. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry. A little vitriolic. I probably shouldn't have went there, but here we go. What's the point, Ogre? You haven't been here a couple of days. Now you come back and you're going to start preaching and preaching and preaching. Well, look what it says there, preacher. You're going to start preaching and preaching and preaching. Oh, hey, Johnny Bravo. Good to see you, brother. Review the music. Good to see you. And now, now you're going to start preaching and preaching and preaching about virtue signaling and how you qualified the word and changed the word about, and Johnny Bravo could tell you a little something about virtue. I don't think he believes in God at all. But here's a guy that, for better or worse, right decision or wrong decision, believes in doing the virtuous thing. That's signaling about it. Look, I'm not going to point anybody out. It's not fair. And the same thing would go for justice, not just for Johnny, but for a lot of people. If we let people continue to change the meaning of language, if we let people continue to attack leaders that they don't like simply because they don't like them, impeach this, take this out. You got this big fat black chick down there in Georgia. I've effectively blocked her, Stacey Abrams, I believe her name is, who just still has never conceded. She won. Now, she lost the election. If I remember right, it was like 25-30. She lost it by thousands and thousands of votes. It wasn't close. It's not like this was there in the back room counting, and it's within 1,000 votes. It was nowhere near. She didn't lose in a landslide, but she did not win. She conclusively lost. And then all this, voter suppression. No voters are suppressed. Everything is the opposite of what they say. Trump voters are intimidated. Trump voters are pulled out of their cars in Chicago. You voted for Trump, huh? Vote for Trump. Steal their car and beat them up and leave them in the street. People are assaulted for wearing MAGA hats. Jesse Smollett did not get assaulted by anyone wearing MAGA hats and screaming, "This is MAGA country." People do assault folks wearing MAGA hats all the time. People do slander. I mean, you have the Sandman case going down there with the Covington kids. People slander folks simply because they want a good president. I don't give a shit if Bill Clinton was getting his balls polished by the intern every day. As a matter of fact, if it helped him do his job, I hope that whoever's in the Oval Office is getting whatever they get. If they have a martini at lunch or if they have a threesome at lunch in the Oval Office, right on the desk. I really, honest to goodness, I don't care. Johnny Bravo, if you're still here, you're a military man. That's your commander in chief. That's the guy that the chain of command ends there. He is the supreme ultimate leader. Do you give a shit whether or not he drinks whiskey or smokes cigarettes or fucks around on his wife or any of these other things? Or are you concerned only if he does what's right for the military? Make sure you get a paycheck and have the best equipment that you could possibly have. Is that what matters? Which is it, A or B? And I mean, I already know the answer to that, but maybe Johnny will type it in there. We'll dry our eyes off a little bit. We really need to as a collective group of Americans. It's easy to freak out. Look, I'm not going to belittle this, but I am going to say something now because people are using this for such political, to make political. Hey, I'm going to use it now as well and make my point. All right, you did 30 some people between Texas and Dayton, Ohio, between Ohio and Texas, 30 some people, whatever it is. If it's 50 people, how many people in this country on any given weekend are shot and killed in our major urban cities? How many people? It's way over that. Sometimes 30 people get killed on a Friday and Saturday night in Chicago alone. This is nothing new, but all we focus here. And now you got Trump acting like a complete idiot, talking about red line laws and more. Background checks. That's just there are background checks right now. You cannot buy a firearm without a background check. You can't own a pistol without registering it. These things are un-American, but true. Shall not be infringed. They're already talking about hate speech. They want to take away the First Amendment. That's why they're so adamant about the Second Amendment. I take your 45, Johnny Bravo, and you and I both know I'd fucking kill you, boy. I would kill you with my bare hands. You would never. I'm 20 times meaner, have 1,000 more tricks hand to hand. But you pick up your 45 and I'm no longer a problem, nor is anyone else. But if they had their way, you'd be on your snowmobile out in the middle of nowhere, butt fuck freezing asshole Alaska, and have nothing. Not only to defend yourself against the two-legged snakes, but to fucking bears, whatever else is out there. Nothing. They don't give a shit. They lump everyone into the same bag. And I'm an American, so I'm saying, no, there should be no gun laws in the inner city. But if you want to take away people's rights, and if you want to live in a city where you don't have any rights, and you hear dumb Joe Biden, dumb Joe Biden talking about, no, take the guns away. I'm watching Bill de Blasio on Sean Hannity, which I very rarely watch. I just wanted to see what this idiot said. Of course, he said what I thought. No, take the guns. He said, all Sean was trying to get the guy to say is, do you believe that everyone in New York City, if they pass the background check, has a right to have a gun in their house to protect themselves? Wouldn't say yes. He said, well, they have the right to call the police. To call the fucking police? Listen, if you think that works in New York City, fine. More power to you. You're stupid, but fine. Even if you live next to the precinct, your brownstone abuts the police station. It's too late when they're in your house, raping your wife with a gun in your motherfucking face. It's too late. Where I'm at, it takes the cops a half hour on a good day to get here. Normal response time, I believe, where I'm out here, about 48 minutes. It's close to an hour. 48 minutes. They've raped my wife, murdered me, murdered my dog, stole all my guitars, took my stashes of everything that I've got, and gone before the cops even get here. Cops don't protect you, Bill de Blasio. They write out a report stating what they think happened, and it's not usually right either. Cops don't do anything. They usually make the situation worse. Because you could have some innocent people that were around that for whatever reason, the cop thinks they look suspicious. They pin it on them. That happens all the time. It's not just you either, black people. It's white people. It's all kinds of people. It's one of the downfalls. Like, I'm getting a little revved up, and I don't have a lot of time. I'm building this greenhouse. I'm just taking a little break. And I had to get this off my chest. People are honestly saying, Elizabeth Warren said this, everybody, and even, people were trying to give Bernie Sanders a pass, but he was basically saying the same thing too. Trump is at fault. Trump pretty much went and shot these people, even though the guy in Dayton said he was voting for Elizabeth Warren. Who would say that's her fault? What about the guy that shot John Scalise? He was a Bernie bro. Who would say it was Bernie's fault? It's insane. Although now they're saying, murder Mitch McConnell. That's trending on Twitter. They took McConnell's fucking Twitter account down because he posted a video of these people outside his house. You could tell what race they were. Listen to it. I ain't gonna say it. You figure it out yourself. Murder turtle. If I was Mitch McConnell, I'd have been out on my porch. My wife's in there. I tell you, try it. Give it a shot. Come to my house to my murder preacher and banging pots and pans out here. See how long it'll be before you get to try. Get your chance. It won't be long. If I was Mitch, though, I would have kicked my door open. I'd have said, "Attention, you motherfuckers! Who wants to murder McConnell? Bow, 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 bow." About 7 rounds up in the air, and then just menacingly drop the barrel down about 4 or 5 feet toward the ground in front of me and let them know, got to go, get out. And if anybody pulls a gun, you shoot them. If anybody rushes the house, you shoot them. They threatened. They said they should have broke his neck. They took Mitch. I don't even like cocaine Mitch. All right. I'm just saying you shouldn't do that to people. You can't do that to people. And then talk about how violent they are. You're at someone's house banging pots and pans, saying murder turtle, meaning Mitch McConnell. To the ignorant fat black lady that was saying that, because yes, by her voice, I could tell that she was ignorant. I could tell that she was fat, and I could tell that she was black. Grow up. You've been lied to. Get off welfare. Stop having hood rats out of wedlock. Don't make a bunch more niggly bears. Stop that. Show some pride in your race if you do have it. I don't know why anybody be proud of their race when you ain't got no choice in that, but show some pride in your race, fat black lady. Don't act that ignorant. Don't be led around by the ring in your nose. Don't take your government handouts and then sit up there and degrade the people that have given you the money, i.e. Mitch McConnell. Stop that. Teach your kids to respect authority. Don't tell them the cops are going to shoot them for no reason. Say, if you break the law and the cops say put your hands up, you better, or they will kill you. Just like they will kill anybody else. Oh, who was it? It wasn't Thomas Sowell. There was a Harvard law professor did a study, wanted to prove that black people were more likely to be shot by the police. Well, that's not what he found out. His own study is now used by people that are showing, no, there's no racism in the police. Actually, they're much, much, much more likely to shoot a white person. I think it's like 75% more likely. And that's when you go break it down case by case. If you look per capita, man, look, I'm not even going to go there. I'll get taken down as a hate channel. They call it scientific racism. I can't even remember it because, again, scientific is a beautiful word. Science is a beautiful word. It's empirically finding out how things work. Using the empirical method to find out how things work. Science is a beautiful thing. This scientific racism, hey, racism is not real. It's not fucking real. Nobody's racist anymore. They're trying to make black people racist in this country, but most of them are not. Most white people are not. We just ain't racist people here. Hell, it wasn't even hardly talked about in the 80s and 90s. It's gone. They're trying to resurrect us. This is Frankenstein's monster resurrected to cause problems where there ain't no problems. Toe Rogan. Yeah, that reminds me. Rogan's up, everybody, right? Give it a Rogan's up. He does look like a toe. He looks like a thumb is what Owen Benjamin says. He looks like a thumb. He says that's a measurement. It's a unit of measurement. That's one Rogan high. And so Rogan's up, everybody. Yeah, Toe Rogan's a fucking idiot, man. He's lockstep hand in hand with these other people, these same people. He owns a weapon, but doesn't think anybody should own weapons. Yeah, Joe Rogan is a paid mouthpiece. He's a faggot. He likes to take it in the ass while he's sucking dick. I don't like people like that. I mean, I used to watch Steven Crowder till I found out from Owen Benjamin that he's a faggot. You know, this guy is straight up queer. He wants to put dudes in dresses. He likes to parade around in a dress himself and find every excuse to do that. He don't want to have any kids with his hot ass wife. No one really knows why, least of all her. She wants to have children. And this guy's a faggot. I'm over it. Look, I went too far, probably. I guess the right person sees, it's hate speech. No, I don't like queers. I don't like homosexuals. They're out to destroy my way of life. How do I know? Is that, you're homophobic now? That proves that that's irrational. Fucking irrational. They got these cocksuckers in there fucking reading stories to kids with these horns and these dudes with big tits and fucking dresses. And they were not just playing story hour. This one big fat black trans nasty was on the ground and they were like, it's huggy time. And they were rolling around. No. If that was my kid and I walked in there, I'd stomp a mud hole in that motherfucker's I'd stomp him a new asshole right about where his nose is. I'd stomp a brand new fucking asshole. Ask Johnny Bravo. I raised that boy. Somebody looked at my boy wrong. They had two choices. Apologize to my boy. Don't make him afraid. You try to make him afraid, I'll make you afraid. I love children. And to destroy a child is the worst thing human beings do. Yeah, how's that for all over the place? How's that for not having any coherent direction to go on my wild rant? And I guess that's just what it was. Owen's out there. I think he's wrong about a lot, but I think he's He is real and believe the shit he talks. Joe Rogan is lame and a disappointment. That's the gospel truth. Review the earth. Big Red Clinton Cox. That is an absolute fact. And yeah, I went a little far. I don't know if Steven Crowder's gay. I just can't watch him anymore, knowing that he screwed Not Gay Jared, knowing that he screwed Sven Computer and that he took their money. And every time I tried to watch the Steven Crowder show, I hear Steven Crowder sucks. Steven Crowder sucks dick. I mean, he did that for like an hour, just playing this pounding, driving organ music, piano music, with that stuck in the middle. And it was not only hilarious, but now every time I see Steven Crowder, that's what's going through my mind. And it's ruined it for me. Oh, so anyway, people, it's good to see y'all here. It's good to be here. I'll try to be back Sunday, and we'll sit down for a little bit long. But right now, I got to get back to work on my greenhouse. I got to go check on the tribe. You know, we got Reuben and Simeon and Zebulon and Naphtali and Asher and Gad and Benjamin and Joseph. And did I say Levi? We got the tribe out there, and I got to keep a good eye on the little buggers because they get in a lot of trouble if I don't. So be good to your friends, be good to your family members, be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, family member, loved one has done seems to be so huge you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, my beloved friends, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and your president of the United States of America will depart from you.